Well, hello, folks. It's your favorite person in the whole world, and it's a special guest edition. Wasn't expecting to do this. I know you guys are used to watching Five Dice Friday, but what do anomalies do but to twist things up? And this right here is Desmond, the intern, Werner. And I met Desmond many years ago through Chris Tillett. If you guys know Chris Tillett, occasionally he's on here. But Desmond's home from his first year at
Xavier University.
The X, Xavier University, which was a top 5 team at some point this year in college basketball.
Yeah,
they did
number
not
1 seed in the tournament, by the way.
How'd that turn out?
We lost in the round of 32.
Clearly. You weren't as bad as that one team from Virginia, which... Did you watch that?
I did watch it. It was a great game. I was ecstatic because UVA didn't let me in, so they deserved it. All of it. That's neither here nor there.
So, in high school, what was your GPA?
GPA graduating high school was a 4.32. Yeah, I think.
It's ridiculous. So, Desmond calls me on Tuesday and says, Zach, it's 11 o'clock, and I'm hungry. Why don't you take me to lunch?
Yes, I was starving like Marvin. There was no food in the house.
And if you know me, I taught him this technique where it's basically getting someone to buy you lunch. And so he called me, and I was like, what did you just do to me? Like, how did you do that? And I was like, well, I can't do it today. Maybe we can do it Friday. So I just picked him up. He's what he calls a broke college student.
Yes, that's a real thing.
Right. Now, here's what you will not understand is that Desmond had a full ride to Xavier, so he can't be that broke.
But I can't be that rich either.
Can't be that rich either. Nate Scholl has just joined us. I don't know if... did you ever meet Nate? Nasty Nate? The swim nerd guy?
Swim nerd? Oh, no, I heard of him.
Yeah, so he's on. He's listening, or he was. Probably left because he's swimming. So tell me about you. Tell me who is Desmond?
Well, Desmond Cornelius Varner Jr. Is just one of 7 billion people in this world, just trying to make a difference. If I can be honest, I know that sounds kind of corny and cliche, but that's just been my mission. Just continue to rise and lift others up with me.
So, the 3rd annual State of the Start community address, I asked Desmond to be my my sales pitch. What would you call that?
Hype man.
Hype man. My forever hype man. And, yeah, you met at the State of the Startup, is what Nate said.
Yeah, I knew her.
Yeah. And, so I'd met Desmond the year before because he was building, he was working at the city I live in, their internship program. And I met him. It was cool. We talked. He came by a lot. And it was wonderful.
It was a cool space. Yeah.
And he called me one day, 6 months later, and said, I started a business. And it's all because of you. And it wasn't because of me. We all know that. But I was thinking we were putting together the startup address. And I was like, I need someone to introduce me. Who could it be? And I was like, this guy.
I was not prepared for that. I was like, oh my gosh. It was a lot more people than I'm used to speaking in front of. And it was like all like professionals and entrepreneurs. So I almost had a anxiety attack before I went on. I was like, Jesus Christ.
What? Oh, so do you remember what you said?
Yeah, I just try to give you, the ultimate WWE intro, to make you feel like, the man and the, Mr. Mac-tastic and, have that Ric Flair sauce with you.
Woo!
So basically, I know I just talked about how, you served as an inspiration for me and as you serve an inspiration for others and how your goal isn't necessarily just to, run a business, but help other people run their businesses and, help people get better, which I think is really important. Giving people the opportunity and the resources in order to thrive and to learn and to grow as an entrepreneur, which is really, really important.
I did not tell him to say that, but tell me the talk. Give me the actual talk. Remember when you said it? Like you got up there and you did it. What did you do?
Well, besides swallow my spit and sweat like an ice cube, I basically said that I basically talked about how we met. Basically about how you inspired me to start something of my own and be a creator. You know, which is a lot of people are creative, but they don't, you know, necessarily become creators because they're not, you know, doing the works in order to, you know, give themselves to others. So, you know, I just talked about how he also wore a Fitbit. You don't wear a Fitbit anymore. I got a Fitbit now. He inspired me to get a Fitbit too. So,
you know, I don't wear a Fitbit anymore. It's because they always break.
They do.
They break. And
this broke like 3 times. It's like my 4th one.
And I don't even think like what I'm doing is crazy.
Right. It's like
it's just they just break. Yeah. So Fitbit, we would love to wear you, but
you need to improve the quality of your product. Though. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I talked about that. I talked about how you always
Fitbit wearing, always swearing, knowledge sharing.
Son of a gun.
That's me. It was fun. So then I asked Desmond if he wanted to be my intern last summer. He was one of a few, and it was a lot of fun, and totally enjoyed having him be that. Then he went on to school this past year. We obviously created a friendship, and that's what I think in life. You know, you guys hear me talk about this over and over and over again. I feel like that song, like over and over again. I don't, bad singer. And he's been back for a few days. We FaceTimed several times over the year. He's in love. I told him to not do that in college.
She's a great girl, though. I like her. She's really nice. She's really great.
I've never met her. I've seen pictures of her. She's a very nice person. She's on the track and field team at Xavier.
She's fast.
And faster than him.
She's
now,
faster than me,
do you remember giving me this the last day?
Yes, the letter.
So Desmond wrote me a letter. On some printed, like, what is this?
It was from the Excel Kids. So the Excel Kids, you know how you talk about entrepreneurship to the Excel Kids from the Rotary Club and stuff?
Yeah.
Basically, that's the only sheet of paper I had. I didn't have my notebook with me, so I just scribbled, you know, what it was.
This is amazing. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but by the way, whenever you're, if you're ever down and there are things that you can find that will bring you up, like this is one of those things for me, right? And I remember when I read it, I'm not about to cry. That's not me getting like choked up. I just literally.
No, it's okay.
We went to lunch today at Mr. Shawarma.
It was delicious.
And for those of you who live in Norfolk and haven't been, you definitely need to check it out. But
please
the peppers are hot, and I had a lot of peppers.
I only had one because I knew I couldn't take it. As soon as I bit it, I was like, "Oh, I might die." Literally, mouth caught on fire. Seriously, almost choked.
So he called me dad. I don't know why he called me dad. What was that whole story?
Because he's like, "Call me daddy." I'm like, "What?"
Don't make people. No, that's. I don't even know.
No, because he always calls me like my.
Oh, because we were walking
son.
down the street,
and then we saw this random lady walk down the street, and so he was like, we were going somewhere, and I was like, "Thanks, Dad," you know, to play it off like I was his son, and then he just got carried away. So I was a joke the whole entire summer that I was his adopted black son, which is kind of funny, you know. It's an awesome dynamic when you're walking across the street and people look at you. So
yeah, I was just trying to like get people to turn heads.
Yeah, it was a head turner.
And he's taller than me. Are you taller than me?
No, we're about the same.
Okay. Better shape than me, clearly.
Yeah,
I have a square head. I got a six pack too.
It's just covered in nice shit.
But I think it's important in life to give people the respect that you want to be respected, and it's exciting, and it's always been exciting to see Desmond, and I think we'll be friends for a long time. The letter basically says, I'm writing this letter to show my appreciation. There's something in here that I really wanted to... Oh, here it is. I could have never envisioned myself in any type of business environment, especially the realm of entrepreneurship, but you empowered me to, in all caps, underline bigger words, boss up, and take charge of my own life. I never truly had a strong business acumen, but I have had potential that you somehow saw. And with your advice, I was able to hone in on what my skills are as an entrepreneur. You helped me overcome limits that society has placed on me simply due to my youth. You also gave me an environment where I was given freedom to be myself. So that was powerful. And I keep this in this notebook that I look at. Also in this notebook, here are some funny things.
Oh man. Look at this guy.
That's me with a shaved head and my brother. Now this is... I coached a swim team for... I want to say I head coached for 5 years, and I was like an assistant coach for another 5 years, so like 10 years. So I'd grown my hair out as long as my brother, basically. So you see my brother right there.
Goldilocks.
And I had grown out for the school year. And I said at the beginning of the season, if we win the championship, you guys can shave my head.
Dang.
Well, we know what happened, folks. They shaved my head. I still talk to a couple of those students as well throughout. And a lot of them are graduating now.
Wow.
Which is crazy. No, because I still have good hair.
That's the key. As long as you have hair, you will never feel.
My sister will be pissed off at showing this picture. Oh, that's me and my sister. Look at
nice. Look at the shades. Oh, she's gonna be heated.
She just had her second kid.
Can we acknowledge your hair though? Look, we gotta look at the dude. I think we have to look at the evolution of Zach Miller's hair.
Well, it's blonde.
It was a show for sure.
My sister will be mad that I showed that picture. So sorry, Vicky.
Sorry, Vicky. It was my fault.
And then here's my brother again. Same kid, a lot younger. Wow, look how much younger he is there.
Yeah, he looks like
things have changed. As you can see there, I've got light, probably the same length hair.
Yeah.
Maybe a little shorter there. And then I got these
the mutton chops, man. The mutton chops.
Mutton chops look great. And then, you ever seen this?
Yeah, Hell on Wheels. Yeah.
So I had decided that I was going to be cool and paint my car.
Bam.
That is a 78 Caprice Classic. It won, I believe, worst car. If you can look really, really close, this is amazing. So there's fire flames on the side. I broke this car, basically. It was terrible. On the roof, there are actually paw marks because we were the Potomac Falls Panthers, and I wanted school spirit.
Paw marks.
Do you ever watch this show? You ever watch Zach Miller Live?
Sometimes.
You're lying.
Depends.
This is episode 65, Zach Miller Live. Thank you guys for being here.
Soundcloud.
There you go, which is 6 days of the week. So I recently found my, we've gone over some stuff. There's my roller coaster box. I don't know if you ever saw that one. You don't pull it out. That one's taken forever. But, so one thing that I've always liked about you, now that you guys see all this crazy crap about me, is your willingness to just be out of the box. And I hate that phrase, but it's easy for people to understand. And you've had to live this life of, I don't even know what to call it, but you've told me about before, where you have to live you live in your own box, but then you've been trying to get out of it recently.
Yes.
Tell me, are you still doing Kingpins at all?
No, I stopped that because just for the time and effort, and I had a lot of school obligations, especially during my senior year. With
Kingpins was what?
It was just an affirmation through a fashion statement. So it was basically small, I say 1.5 inch buttons in diameter that had a picture of a crown on there. And
you sold out, right?
Yeah, I sold out. It was really impressive.
But you just don't do that anymore.
I just don't do it anymore because I just have other obligations pulled here and there. But I think one thing that it taught me, it was definitely a lesson and a blessing at the same time. It was able to just show me that, hey, look, you are your own brand, and it's up to you to build it. It's up for you to people to invest in you. It's up to you to show people who you are. And now I take that type of mentality in every space I'm in. Whether it be in the classrooms or anywhere I'm at. Even on the street. And also it taught me to be able to connect with all types of people because you never know who your clientele may be. You never know who may invest in you. So whether it be a director of some huge department in the city, or a CEO of a company, an entrepreneur, or even the janitor sweeping the floors. Everybody has a story, so why not share yours?
The OV mayor. If you guys haven't seen this, there's a guy. It's a little inappropriate.
Highly inappropriate.
There's a guy.
If you're sensitive, don't watch it because it's pretty.
He used to go. So there's this guy named the OV Mayor. He has a YouTube page. He's like a rapper, like a 60-year-old white rapper in Ocean.
You call him
a wannabe rap artist.
Clown in a way.
And
no offense.
He would produce this content on YouTube. It's severely inappropriate, but it's so funny because the guy lives this apparently. And he used to go to Chick-fil-A.
He used to go to Chick-fil-A when I worked there, and he would order something, and I'm like, name, sir, and he would OV Mayor. I'm like, okay. And he would come in there, and he would wear one of my biggest pet peeves is wearing sunglasses indoors. Like you don't really need to do that. It's kind of, and he would wear like these old sunglasses. He'd be, did he still have a mohawk? Did he still have a mohawk? I don't know, but I remember one time I saw him with his mohawk all spiked up. I'm like, oh my lord. I mean, to each his own though. I mean, he's building his brand
He's
in a
the
very
anomaly.
unique way. He's the anomaly. You know, you could be on the far right end or the far left end. It all depends on where you want to land. But the big thing is you just can't be the standard. You have to be above the standard. Deviate.
You know what's funny is Desmond sat in right next to me, basically for the whole summer. I know the OV Marin, it's real. Brian Wells also says I still owe you for a button. And that's when you go, you can Venmo me or PayPal me, right?
Yeah, you can Venmo me or PayPal me.
And what's the number?
Kingpins, Venmo at Kingpins365.
He's doing a straight face. I love it.
I mean, $4. I mean, I would love $4. I can do a lot with $4.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so many of you guys know Anomaly was based off of a question that I get a lot. Basically, I have this business, product, service, whatever, and it's great, but no one knows about it. How can it be seen? And all summer, every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, what was it? Like
every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, you think?
Every Tuesday, Thursday, yeah.
Yeah. So a couple times a week, I would run Brian says, send me a link. Can you just Venmo him? Does he just Venmo you that money? How does that work?
Yeah, I'll send him the link. I got him on Facebook. I'll send him the link.
Send him the link. You should do it right now.
Yeah, I know, right?
Because he said he's going to do it. We'll see if he actually does it. And then we'll call him out when he does. And give him some love.
I got you.
So why don't you go onto this post yourself?
I got you.
And tag it on the comments so that way he can go to that.
Awesome.
So we would do this webinar every week, and it was basically at the time called the 8 ways to recycle the content that you already have. And that's basically what's become the book. Is the Anomaly book, is this webinar. And it's obviously a lot more than what is the webinar, but he does PayPal, so send me your email. What's your PayPal email?
Desmond Varner at gmail.com. So my first name, last name at gmail.
DES plus interest. Well, good. He's going to send you $4.50.
That's even better.
So, but Desmond sat next to it all summer. And when I was telling him, he was like, tell me about the book. I'm like, oh, it's inspiration. It's thought is from that. And a lot of it, when I was putting it together, it was, document right here, webinar, slides over here. And so it was interesting. You sat on through that.
Yes.
So knowing what I've said through that, tell the people what I was saying.
Basically what he was saying is that in order to stand out, there's like many layers and levels to it. It's pretty stratified. But I think the most important thing to do is just, one, it takes consistency. 2, it takes doing things that other people don't do. A lot of times people like talk about their product, but you got to realize, okay, you creating the product is one thing, but doing the groundwork to make sure people know and feel your product, I think knowing about it is good, but if people feel your product, that's even more important. So you talk a lot about the groundwork and about sending out emails, going to networking events, making sure people know who you are, know about your brand, and just being as present as you can. I think that's what I really took off of it, and that's what something I applied to my life is just being present. So that's why I'm involved in clubs, I'm involved in 1,000 different things at my school, and that's given me opportunities because position is power. And I think I really derived that from sitting on the webinars.
Yeah. And so we all often have, I think people are afraid to sell themselves or their business a lot. Mm-hmm. And there's a chapter in the book, and I believe the title is, you're not being cocky if you're talking about yourself.
Agreed.
And there's a different, people will be like, yeah, yes, it is. And Glenn, if it's live, how are you watching this? Just let me know how that's possible. But you have to endorse yourself and let people know what you're good at.
Agreed.
And I think that's something that's super important. And people ask me in a word or two, what will the book do for you? Help you position yourself so that you can move more forward. Realize that things don't have to be super polished.
Agreed, because there's a lot of that now. Everything has to be
That's why I intentionally, all these things I do are super raw, so I can show people
who you are.
Well, and I also want to prove the point of like, yes, super polished things are nice. Super polished things are also more expensive.
They are.
Most people don't know what avenue they really want to go to yet. And even when they do, they could spend all this money on a super polished piece of content, video, audio, whatever. And what happens at the end of the day? It doesn't get consumed, so you kind of spent that money for no reason.
Agreed.
Which is not cool. So we try and do this super raw.
Because it's real.
And it's real. Yeah. And just go with the flow. So usually you guys are here for 5 Dice Friday, which is an ode to me being a sports anchor. Nice. If you ever caught this, but she's lying because he hasn't caught a show because he would have known what 5 Dice Friday. It's an ode to me trying to be a sports anchor. You know, when like the Washington Capitals are moving the puck up from Ovechkin to a player that I can't remember.
Ovechkin's the only important player.
And he slides it under the goalie, and the Caps win. They beat the Pens. Yahtzee!
Yahtzee. You gotta come with a better sports phrase. Like, you know how, like, Stuart Scott had, like...
It was inspired by Stuart Scott, R.I.P. brother.
Yeah, he was a great guy.
Screw you, Desmond. Yahtzee's so good. 5 Dice Friday. Oh, my God. All right, so what are the 5 things on your mind? Yeah, let's do it like that. Like, what are the 5 things you're thinking about right now?
5 things I'm thinking about right now is, one, just working out because I have to get, like, a good solid lift in. I'm trying to be all big and swole like this guy over here. So that's definitely something that's on my mind. Another thing that's on my mind is just how I can help out my family this summer, you know, in a way. So my brother and sister, they're doing sports and athletics. So, you know, it's been months since I've been here. So it's just my role now to fill in as big brother and do what I need to do. 3 is just finding out what I'm gonna do this Friday night because it's Friday. You know, it's time to have a good time. But you know, we're here for a good time, not a long time. But all right, that's true. Another thing is,
did someone sing that?
No, somebody told me that. I heard that in my passing.
What was it? What was the line?
We're here for a good time, not a long time.
That's good.
So we're on 4. 4 is what's 4? What do I want to?
Do you have an internship this summer?
No, I actually talked to my mentor, Dr. Scott, because I'm a nursing major, so I plan on being an Army nurse in the near future. I talked to my mentor, Dr. Scott. He's a pulmonologist, and he used to work on the ethics committee at EVMS. So he said he was gonna, you know, search around there and see if he can squeeze me in anywhere. But I know if I can go anywhere, I can go right back to this guy. I don't know if he'll let me in his house though.
Number 4, now number 5.
Number 5, just hanging out with my bro. Oh, you just kind of, I'm about to say, you kind of like your nose.
That's a 5 Dice Friday edition of Reunited, and it feels so good. So we'll see if Brian sent the mine, did he? Would you get the notification?
I would definitely get the notification. It'll be an email. Check my email.
Brian, we want you to buy a button. And
I gave him the button. I just need the money.
Wait a second. Oh gosh. So what did you learn? What did you learn at school this year that you weren't expecting to learn?
One thing I learned at school that I definitely wasn't expecting is I learned how to shoot a gun, like, you know, like a real like M9 and you know, M16. I shot that.
Where did that happen?
ROTC. So I do ROTC. So I mean, of course, I would expect us to, you know, do Army stuff, but not like, you know, shoot a gun. You know, and I'm not really a big gun guy, but it was fun. Now I know why people like it so much. But another thing I wasn't expecting to I would say learn or be a part of was just invading spaces on campus. You know, I thought I was just going to be, you know, mainly to myself and just stay in my own lane and, you know, not really talk to people or be, you know, everywhere at everything. But that didn't happen. That was the exact opposite. I was able to, you know, infiltrate spaces. I was able to be part of, you know, important groups on campus that, you know, serve as advocacy groups, groups that, you know, have position and leverage in order to make things happen, like, you know, Student Government Association, as for an example. So that wasn't planned, but I say it was definitely a blessing in disguise, and it taught me, about just being in the right place at the right time, and then you get to talk to the right type of people, and then, you know, your name gets to be put on campus. But I put my grades first though, because grades were really important to me, and I said I was going to get all.
You got a 1.2.
No, nice try. I got first semester I got a 3.7. This semester I got a 3.8.
There you go. Better than me.
It's okay.
It's because I'm not in school anymore. I've been out of school 11 years. I just realized that.
You're old.
Been out of high school 16 years. How old are you?
I'm 19. So you graduated when I was 4 years old.
Oh, and that concludes this edition.
Yes. Let's stop looking to age. Oh my god.
I don't feel old. I feel like age is a
mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Age is a mindset.
And yeah, totally. And I think it's good to surround yourself with people and like you and to have fun with life. So we are going to continue this conversation, but without you guys. But I wanted to bring Desmond on so you guys who might have seen him before could say hello. He's back in business, baby, and he's ready. And he loves to walk Ashbrook.
I do. That was actually one of my favorite parts of the internship was walking his dog, believe it or not. And picking up the poop was not delightful, but walking his dog was great. Where is he? Ashbrook.
There he is.
Oh, he's asleep.
Somewhere back there.
Oh, he's right there. He's right there. There he is. Yeah, Ashbrook.
So we're gonna go on a nice little walk with the old pupperoo and catch up like old times. All right, folks, because he's super excited. He's actually just prepping right now.
Yeah, he's stretching right now.
Yeah, he's stretching. So hope you guys have wonderful weekends. Enjoy your time with your family and friends. Mother's Day is Sunday. Be sure to tell the mothers around you Happy Mother's Day. To all of you mothers out there,
thank you.
Thank you.
Without you, where would we be?
Well, we wouldn't be alive. We know that.
Yeah, that's true. But the role of a mother is like really important, because just in terms of support, in terms of your, love, compassion, and just always being, a pillar. I think that's important.
Parents and family is so very important.
Much
Make sure to call your mom if you have a bad relationship with your mom or dad or anyone in your family.
Yeah, life is too short to be.
Think about fixing those. Think about fixing those relationships. The things you learned from a 34-year-old and a 19-year-old.
Yes.
Reunited. It feels so good. Zach Miller, episode 65. Do you want to say something funny to go out
I was going to say something insightful.
Okay, do it.
I know life can be challenging, especially when you're an entrepreneur. I know life can be, just a battle. And I read this poem by Langston Hughes the other day, and it's called Advice. He said, we're born, we live, then we die. It's important to find some love in between. Peace, everybody.
Powerful. Thanks, brother. Remember that? That's what we used to do in the old days of '02. Look who just joined us, Tim Ryan. You remember Tim Ryan?
Yeah, hey, Tim.
We'll stick on for about 10 more seconds just so we can say hi to Tim. Tim was at the concert last night. You remember the storm? Canceled the storm.
Yeah.
Crazy storms last night.
It was ridiculous. Like thunder was shaking my house, and I was like, whoa.
Thunder occasionally does that.
No, but it was I've never felt that. Cause house was pretty sturdy. I didn't feel I've never felt my house rumble, except when there was that aftershock after the earthquake one time, years ago. When I was still in middle school. So
I was on the third floor of a building when that happened.
Really?
And it was there was an earthquake in Norfolk, in Virginia, and I guess a couple other places too. And it was very odd. I was on the phone, and there was construction across the street. Mm-hmm. This is what it felt like. It felt like I was on this wave.
All right.
It was really, really odd. All right, y'all. Appreciate you being here. If you guys love what you guys have just watched, this was a really good episode. Please, wherever you guys consume this, give it a subscribe. If you guys are watching this on Facebook, make sure that you like this page as well so that you guys can see everything that I'm doing and sometimes being reunited with. So, another quote since...
Another quote?
Or another thing to end with because I ruined it.
Okay. No, I got it. Another poem by Rudyard Kipling. He wrote the Jungle Book. It's called If. In the middle, I'd say about the third stanza, he says, if you can walk among the common crowds, if you can eat amongst kings, nor lose your common touch. I think that's really important. Another line he said in the poem that I thought was really inspirational was if you can endure the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, the world is yours and everything in it, my son.
powerful again. Poems read by Desmond.
Yes.
All right, y'all. Have wonderful weekends. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. Thank you for watching this edition of Zach Miller Live, episode 65. It's going to be a big, busy week next week. He's Desmond. I'm Zach. Peace.